Yo, what's good, YouTube? The nastiest cast on TV is back. But this time, you got a real nasty host up in here.
Get a W host in the chat. Get W host in the chat.
W host, you feel me?
W
nasty host. W nasty host, you feel me?
Nasty host. W nasty host.
If you know me, your mama's favorite mailman, Bama, But now I gotta pass it to my brother, one half of CTE boys,
yes,
the leader of Light It Up boys,
yes,
J-Rob, the man, the myth,
brother?
the legend. What's Gucci?
What's good, my brother? I'm really just happy to see you, Bama. Like I've seen Fluent and Band a bunch of times. I haven't seen your face, though I love my guys up here. I want y'all know, I love y'all. But I missed you, bro. I ain't seen you in a while. I'm really happy to be up here with you. And you're hosting. It doesn't even get any better than this. Feel like
Man, it
Christmas
gets no
came
better,
early.
do it.
Feel like
I
Christmas
know.
came early, bro. I got Bama as a host today. It's gonna be a great show.
Oh man,
It's good, man. I've been working, bro. They've been flying me out like a city girl. So, I be some everywhere right now, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Ben from the block.
Yo, what up?
What's good with you, man?
Hey man, glad to see you here, Bama. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here. And I'm still repping 2 losses and all.
Oh my God.
I don't give a damn. R.I.P. Harvey Updike. That's the G right there. You feel me? But the most interesting man in podcasts. This dude got his hands in some of everything. I don't know. Shit. I really feel like we go see him on ESPN soon, talking crazy to Max Kellerman or something. I don't know, bro.
I can see it.
I like it,
but
I like
it done.
He specializes in getting people more fluent, like them, love them, hate them. Old Dub is what I like to call him. A lot of people call him fluent. What's good with you?
This week, Bama returns to Player's Choice, and Bama's favorite NFL player returns to practice.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
That's good for me because I got him as a backup QB, and Kyler Murray is looking shaky.
My
Oh,
God.
wow.
Cleveland, get ready.
Wait, is he starting this week?
No. He probably starting in 2 more weeks, but he's back in practice.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Where are they? I got to look at the Cleveland Browns record because things might get spooky in AFC land.
Well, we'll start off speaking of quarterbacks. I don't know if you guys seen the AFC. What is that? The AFC East, Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Patriots. But after that fire start, man, they sitting in 3rd place right now, and I don't know if anybody's seen the Dolphins and Jets play, but it possibly could look like me and Dub was right, man. I'm just saying, I didn't think that defense was gonna be that legit with the Jets. Can
I say I told y'all long ago I went on this hill.
I mean,
don't do
it's
like
a fandom hill. I'm gonna give you that. It's a fandom hill.
Make that face.
But it's looking like, I mean, he possibly could miss the playoffs, man. What y'all think about that, man? What's going on? Especially because I ain't gonna lie, bro. He kind of fumbled the bag that last game, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I need to know. Are we bringing in our guests for this conversation? Because we do have 2 people sitting in the green room, just chilling.
Bring them in. Yeah, they in the beginning. Yeah,
we bring them in. Clout God was, and Cowboys beat. We're talking about the AFC, but Cowboys beat.
Man,
we can beat up on some Cowboys too.
Cowboys.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
What's going on, my man?
What's up?
Hey, I'd just like to say thank you guys for having me on. I greatly appreciate it.
For sure.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
I love
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, love you coming on. Welcome.
But
so we're starting the AFC East, but then maybe we'll go to NFC East. Maybe. We talk about your Cowboys.
Yeah, man. So
talk about them Cowboys.
We were just talking about the Bills possibly. They're sitting at 3rd right now in the AFC East, and I remember they was on me and Dub for saying that they possibly might miss the playoffs because they started out hot. So they did make us look real bad at first. But I don't know with how the Jets are playing and the Dolphins, it looked like the Bills probably could miss the playoffs after starting out as hot as they did. What you got to think about that? We'll let the guests go first.
Yo, is it me? Like coming into the season, I thought that Josh Allen was one of the most overrated players in football. Not because like there's a difference between overrated. There's a difference between overrated and bad. Like Josh Allen is a fantastic quarterback, but when people put him up there with saying that he's better than Patrick Mahomes, he's not that. Like he's not better than Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't even. I don't think I'd put him over Rodgers or Brady either.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Cowboy. I like the Cowboy.
Starting off with a bang.
I like him already, fellas. Let's talk about it. Ben, why'd you leave?
I mean, I give you.
You can still be great and overrated. I'll put that out there, Ben, before you say
anything. Yeah.
I can see why you say it. No, I can see why you say it though, because like people have Allen as the best quarterback in the league over Mahomes, people like that. Me personally, I think he's right now he's 2. I think he's 2. If you're talking about right now, but
number 2 in the league, he's the second best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, because Rodgers ain't doing all that. I mean, he won last week. Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady. I mean, he had a bad start. So
well, he didn't have a bad start. Let's be clear. His team's record had a bad start. He's still second in the league in yards. He's okay. Ish. Right? We're talking wins and losses. But I thought winning wasn't a quarterback stat.
Especially these Ben. That's what you told us.
I got you, Ben.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you did not.
Is it me or like coming into this season? I feel like people were picking the Bills because they saw how they played against the Chiefs and they just like felt bad for them or something. But like when you look at the Bills, they have like no running attack. Like Josh Allen is their entire running attack, and when you're relying on a quarterback to be your entire running attack, like I don't know, I'm not with that. Like they have to. Like people were selling me on James Cook. I'm like, yeah, James Cook is like a 4th round rookie. Like, not to say he's not going to be a good player, but to say that he's going to be able to be a workload back for you, I don't know. Right. I don't see it.
Well, as someone who picked the Bills, I'll tell you why I picked the Bills. I picked the Bills because 1, I had question marks about Kansas City and how much they would miss Tyreek Hill and what they lost on defense. So I was worried about their defense. So then when I looked at the rest of them, I thought the Bengals were going to have a down year after making it to the Super Bowl and losing, because typically teams do that. Lamar Jackson was coming off injury. Even the guy who's a Jets fan thought the Jets would be playing for a lottery. For the top pick. Miami, I was worried about Miami because we all knew if Tua was healthy, that team was going to be dangerous. I picked the Patriots to finish last in that division, so I wasn't worried about them. So all those big teams, I'm not a big fan of Ben's guy Justin Herbert and the Chargers. So really, when I looked at the landscape, I thought if there was a year for the Bills to take the AFC, it would be this season. I like their defense. I really like their secondary. The addition of Von Miller in the pass rush looked pretty good. Josh Allen took a big step forward last year. I thought even if he took a small step this year with Stephon Diggs, with Gabriel Davis, with those, Dustin Knox, a couple of other pieces, but they had a great passing attack, and they don't need a significant running game. Like if they could get their 30, 40 yards from Josh Allen, 30, 40 yards from Singletary, 20 yards, like a couple yards from, I forget the other back's name, whatever his name is. Right? It'd be enough. There wouldn't be a workhorse back, but between the quarterback and those 2 or 3 running back committees, there'd be enough to keep the defenses honest. And it was more about them staying the same from last year and taking a small improvement, but everybody else I thought was going to be worse. So that's why I picked them. Now, still, let's not be crazy, guys. Like they are still 6-3. They're tied with the Jets, and Miami has 1 win over them. They're 7-3. So it's not like they've dropped out of contention. Mm-mm. If they're healthy, guys, they're still one of the most talented teams there. They, to say that they're not going to make the playoffs now, a little bit premature, but we'll see how Josh Allen's health is.
Yeah, so I won't jump off a cliff here and say the Bills aren't going to go to the playoffs. And I'm with Flo. I picked them to win the division. I think it was kind of like the consensus that they'd win the division. I think obviously nobody expected how much success the Dolphins and the Jets would have in the division. I personally,
I thought the Dolphins would. The Jets. Come on,
the Jets.
the
Yeah,
Jets was
nobody,
a surprise. The Jets
nobody
was
saw that coming.
Yeah.
But I have to say this: it's crazy because the AFC East ended up being the division that we thought the AFC West was going to be,
right
in terms of how close it's going to be between each team. And my thing with Josh Allen and this whole situation with the Bills, we get stuck in a prisoner in the moment with this kid. Like I don't think he's close to Mahomes. I still think there is a clear gap there.
Oh yeah.
And I know people are saying he's number 2, but I don't think it's like a close 2-1. Even if you have that, because nobody talks about when Josh Allen shows those inconsistencies in his accuracy as a throw, with some sails on him, or he just
bounces it off the ground when he has a touchdown.
Yeah.
They'll pull that little stat out. Oh, that was a 64% chance of getting completed, and he missed.
But
they only do that with one dude.
Like, he's shown that he has those missed throws, and honestly, the New York Jets probably exposed it the worst out of anybody this season. And the same thing that we are just as critical of Lamar about, and his incompletions just seem a lot louder than other people's incompletions. They're closer to each other than either of them are even at where Mahomes is.
Well, so
that's not
a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing, but he is. He's closer. You know how I love Lamar Jackson. He is closer to Lamar Jackson than he is to Patrick Mahomes. I think we all agree on that one.
So my question is, Josh Allen's probably the second best quarterback in football. Is it me, or is like Josh Allen the second best quarterback in football by like default? Like kind of,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It could be because the other greats, the Bradys, the Rodgers are getting up there, and they're not the same players they once were. And the other guys, the Herberts, the Burrows, the whatever, they haven't taken that step yet. They're great, but they haven't gone to that elite level yet.
People are not going to, and there's going to be.
There is a gap. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes, and there's a gap. And it's not 1A, 1B. It's 1, and then 2, 3, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And the biggest issue too is like guys like Lamar. There's going to be people who are still going to be upset about how he gets it done. So they're not going to put him as like the second quarterback in the NFL either. So I do agree. It does feel like it's by default sometimes.
I'm looking at the Bills' schedule. They're making the playoffs. It's an easy schedule.
Oh yeah, come on.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far.
They'll make it over the Jets. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Like the Jets are a good story. I still think the Bills are a better team than them.
If we had a quarterback,
hold on, Ben. Sorry, when you look at their schedule, just let me hold on. The Browns isn't a gimme.
Mm-mm.
The Lions, sure, but the Patriots aren't a gimme. The Jets aren't a gimme. The Dolphins aren't a gimme.
No,
the Bears are a gimme. But then they got
really. Not what Justin Fields want to play.
Listen, I'm a Bears fan. I'm more so than the others. That's when they should. Well, my point is that the Lions and Bears they should beat. But when at the other teams, I don't think they should beat the Patriots like easily. The Jets, the Dolphins, the Bengals, and then the Patriots again. I actually think their schedule is pretty tough when I look at it because you got a lot of division games. If you think about it, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots twice, 4 of those games are divisional games. Those are divisional games are always tight. So
like, I think they go beat the Lions.
Yeah, Lions and Bears. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm okay with that.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Miami? Because like I look at Miami, and I think that they're the team out of all the teams in the AFC that they need home field advantage more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like if they get the 1 seed, they might go all the way. But if they end up as like a wild card team and they got to go to Buffalo or something or somewhere like that,
can Tua cut it? In other words, Cowboys really trying to say, can Tua cut it in the win?
Well, let's ask Tua's cousin. Let's ask Tua's cousin.
I'm just saying, for the offense they run, you damn right. I'm taking my money on it. The RP, like honestly, just be real with y'all.
Didn't you say they should bench him?
This is not magic, okay? Like you don't have to launch the ball 70, 80 yards on the regular. And then the quarterbacks that can do that, they don't do it all the time. So, I mean, if we just want to hang our nuts on 1 to 2 plays out the game, okay, cry me a river. But I guarantee you, if you look at the air yards and how often he throws deep and connects deep, it's comparable with all of the top elite QBs that we love so much with the arm power that can throw 85 miles. So, I mean, he pretty much still do everything we want. The fucking football field only 100 yards. So, I mean, he pretty much does everything we need. His elite anticipation and how quick he gets rid of the ball, that shit is going to be transferable in any type of weather. I don't care. I'll hang my hat on that. That's very true. Just if you look at their offense, that's pretty much going to be transferable anywhere it go. The addition of Jeff Wilson, now we got a good run game to aid their defense. Got my boy Bradley Chubb. One thing I tell you about the playoffs, especially in cold weather, a great run game and the defense travels real well, and we just upgrade right there. So, I mean, whether we get home field advantage or not, I'm putting my money on Tua.
They might have the NFL MVP, right?
I mean, look, everybody was talking about I was smoking catnip, and then
I'm not talking about Tua.
Catnip. Oh, Tua the MVP. Fuck that.
Tyreek Hill.
We're talking about Tyreek Hill.
Come on.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
might have
y'all are just so nasty. Y'all nasty.
No wide receiver has ever won. No wide receiver has ever won the MVP. And if it wasn't for Tua missing those games, Bama, I'll give you some praise. You might have 2 players on your team fighting for the MVP.
So
think about that for a minute.
Me personally,
the fact that y'all really finna be nasty like this, because this is what I say is real funny. Because if Tua didn't do nothing with Tyreek Hill, he'll bum. But the fact that Tyreek Hill is having a record-breaking season, bruh, Tyreek Hill the MVP. That's why. But let's not forget. Hold on. Wait. Last time I checked, they was on a 3-game losing streak when Tua was out with the Patty Milk brain. Bro, they was on a 3-game skid.
I said if Tua didn't miss those games, he'd be in. I think he'd be the MVP right now.
He still got to be the MVP.
Me personally, Mahomes MVP. I got Mahomes.
So
I think
that's
it's
too
going
easy.
to matter most after Thanksgiving. You know,
that's too easy.
Take
a stretch.
The real NFL season starts after Thanksgiving. This is when games are more high stakes because these are playoff spots and seeding, and this is really when the big boy quarterbacks come to play. This is the time of year when if your nuts are going to hang, it's time for your nuts to hang, and we're going to find out. I'm sorry. We're going to find out. And Bama, look,
bing bong.
Ultimately. I want to see Tua have to cut it in Buffalo, bro.
That's fine. So that leads me to the next question. That leads me to the next question. This is the very next question. Are the Dolphins the most complete team in the AFC? Let's walk down the whole AFC right now. And because we sitting here talking about, how well do they stack up against them? And I'm like, I mean, are y'all really just saying Tua finna go out there and lay an egg like that? Because if we stack up the teams, okay. Receiving core. Who has a secondary that you feel like that can stop the Dolphins? Pretty. Do you think the weather is going to affect it that much?
We talking about when healthy? We talking about when healthy?
Man, right now we talking about to the playoffs. We talking about making a run in the playoffs. You saying the New York Jets? You think in the playoffs they'll be able to stop the Dolphins?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the Jets will lose. The Jets will lose not because of the defense. We'll be losing because of Zach Wilson.
With the addition of Jeff Wilson. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with him. Yeah, no, I agree. If they can't beat the Dolphins, it's going to be because of Zach Wilson. It's not going to be because of their defense. I mean,
I ain't gonna lie, the Jets are a complete team too, bro. I can go roster for roster. We are just as complete. We don't have a cheetah. We definitely don't have a cheetah. Better weapons for sure, but we got a complete team too. We just don't know about the quarterback.
So linebacker core, who in the AFC could stop? I'm talking about all over the AFC. So you saying out of every team at the AFC, the Jets on is the only team that can stop their passing game. So this is what I'm saying. You saying that we worried about them going to Buffalo. So you don't think Buffalo? So what would be the thing?
I think Baltimore will be ready for y'all. Come again. I think if you had to play Baltimore again, because you got to remember Baltimore was playing a lot. Baltimore's playing rookies. You got to remember Baltimore at the start of the year, their secondary. I know they was giving up them leads, but that secondary was also year one, year two, a few first start guys on that defense. So I'm going to give them a bit of not a pass, but now we got this back end of the year. Like I just said before, this is when the real season really begins. And I think that team is coming at the right time. Like, don't sleep on Baltimore. Like, they're not a player in this thing. And they got a pretty good defense that I think is starting to pick their shit up. At first, I was pretty low on it, but I think right now, you might have some things to deal with, bro. I'm just being honest. And we got Roquan Smith. That just changed everything. Don't talk to me.
So he gonna be able to guard Cheetah now?
Don't talk to me about Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert with Roquan Smith.
That was a big addition. That was a big addition. I wanted the Cowboys to get Roquan Smith, to be honest with you.
Can we get to the Cowboys, please? Let's get to the NFC. Can we get to the NFC?
Well, real quick, one question before we get out of the AFC East. Do you guys think if Tyreek Hill wasn't on the Dolphins, do you think Jalen Waddle would be a top 10 wide receiver?
No.
Tua go to him a lot in crunch time. So I mean, I think he still will be up there.
I think it'll be very dependent on.
I think his numbers probably will be even higher.
Yeah, me too.
Because the reason for that being, if you watch all the Dolphins games in crucial moments, Tua hits a Waddle like nothing else. 4th and 7 versus the Patriots, the game-winning touchdown versus the Baltimore Ravens, the touchdown against the Bills. He dialing up Waddle in crucial situations a lot. So that means he got something in his head to where I look for Waddle right here, regardless of whatever Tyreek Hill doing. So I think he'll be
way more
the same.
passes to Jalen Waddle in his lifetime than he has to Tyreek Hill. And as long as they're playing together, he'll have a way different connection with Jalen Waddle than he does with Cheetah. You got to remember, they played college football together. They went through a different type of mud together, scored touchdown together, broke records together. So he's always going to be a weapon. So I think Harvard
the number 2 to take the defense off of him.
Yeah, like if he had
that would be it.
Like
that
if
would be
his
it.
Number 2 was like a T. Higgins, I still think he'd be a phenomenal receiver. We still could probably have a debatable top 10 year if he has like a T. Higgins, even an Allen Robinson as a number 2. Michael Gallup type of guy, I think he can still get off.
Not Michael Gallup. Not Michael Gallup right now.
Oh yeah, not
Michael Gallup right now. But what I will say is, like, out of all the teams in the AFC, the unit that I think I trust the most at the current moment out of all the units is that Miami offense. Because of how explosive they are. Like, yeah, Miami's defense might not be great, but if Miami can put up 35 points on a team, I think their defense is good enough to hold another team under 35.
No, I think they're a good team too. I just got to see what Tua is, bro.
Because it's a different game. Playoffs are a different game.
I've already said that I've been suspicious of Tua's arm velocity from the start. I think when it's sunny in Miami and it's easy to throw the ball, he's an accurate guy. I've already said I like his accuracy, Bama, so I'm not making this as a knock. But I am concerned because I do still, in my eyes, see him underthrow. Some balls look like they lacking some velocity when he throws the football. I'm just nervous. What happens if you have to go to Baltimore in January? You have to go to Buffalo in January, Kansas City, somewhere like that where you got to cut it in a 20-mile-an-hour gust. Is you still going to have that same explosive offense? I don't know. And that's my only concern. It's more of a concern than me saying it's going to happen, but it does concern me.
And my question is, like, so right now, if you were the Dolphins general manager and Tua was asking for a Kyler Murray contract, are you giving it to him?
You goddamn right I'm giving it to him.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not.
I'm giving it to him with the quickness, huh?
I gotta be honest, I couldn't give. I hate to say it because it really makes it seem like I don't like Tua or like I have something against him. I really do like Tua. I'm happy with his success. But I just know for certain I know for certain that Justin Herbert is no out of this simple either. I don't know if I can give a Kyler Murray contract to Justin Herbert either because of the fact that, hear me out, just hear what my point is. Tua and Justin Herbert have not really shown me that if the situation is not absolutely perfect, can they make up for deficiencies with their team? Justin Herbert showed me he cannot do that at all. And unfortunately, his situation may be astronomically worse because of the injuries and things of that nature. So I'm more likely to give Justin Herbert that contract than I am Tua, based off, I know I have a plethora of injuries, but I know the numbers, the velocity on the ball, the intangibles he has it. But Tua, I definitely know I have to have everything right for this kid to have success.
So everything was right the first 2 years?
No, that's why he wasn't successful.
I mean, he still figured out a way to win games.
He got the 2 fastest receivers in the league. He has one of the
most
creative offensive minds in the league
this year.
And I said he has legitimate intangibles. I never said Tua was an inaccurate thrower in football. I've always said he can make the throws, man.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo ran the same offense. It didn't look the same way.
It also didn't have a Tariq Hill and a Jalen Waddle on it.
Well, so
Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, they're not slouches though.
That's not.
It's the same. I mean, the offense, but regardless, the offense is because we not just finna act like Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, regardless of whatever you saying,
they're nowhere near.
Nowhere near them. Is a different
nowhere near them.
We literally said on this show, and you have agreed to it, that Tariq Hill is the most dangerous weapon in all of professional football. We've all agreed to that. So let's not talk about no Debo and Brandon Ayuk. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not close.
And then not only that, like Debo Samuel is more of like a yak guy, if anything.
That's what he's great at.
You know what Tyreek is though. A yak dude.
He's a burner.
Yeah.
And then based off what y'all saying too, Tua ain't got no arm strength, so he really not burning like that. Everything is a yak. So what argument are y'all taking? Is Tua throwing number short shit to Tyreek Hill, or is Tyreek Hill catching air passes?
The question.
Which one is y'all gonna take? Because based off how Tyreek Hill and Debo both are used, they utilize the same way. They both use the same way.
Bro, but his question was, will we give Tua Tagovailoa $230 million?
I would. Because, like I said, look how his offense look. I just simply told you.
I have to spend more money.
So, arguably, he's better. How much they gave Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy Garoppolo got a boatload of money, too.
He needs weapons. He's going to need an O-line. There's things Tua needs. I can't break the bank for Tua because I know I need other things to be right for him, bro. That's a fact.
Here's what I'll say about the Justin Herbert thing. The difference between Tua and Justin Herbert is this. Justin Herbert has physical tools that you don't come around all too often. It's like the Carson Wentz situation. Carson Wentz had physical tools that you just don't come around all that often. It's hard to let a guy like that go. It's like if Justin Herbert's asking for that Kyler Murray type of contract, are you just going to let him go? Like if I'm a GM, I can't do that. If he's asking for it, you don't come around quarterbacks like that very often. If, you just don't come around them very often. So that's why I would pay Justin Herbert. Now, Tua is a different story. I like Tua a lot. I would just have to see more. I'm not saying that he can't be that guy that gets that type of contract. I'm just saying that at the current moment, I wouldn't give it to him. Not right now.
Why would you give it to I'm curious. Why would you give it to Justin Herbert?
Well, because like I said, his physical traits, you just don't come across a quarterback like Justin Herbert all that often. And if you're telling me that Justin Herbert's going to leave my franchise if we don't give him this type of contract, I'm going to keep Justin Herbert because you just don't come across quarterbacks like that.
Same way they did Phillip Rivers, right? Because he had the same type of arm talent, and look what he did over there. Nothing.
Don't fall in. See, here's the thing. I think people fall.
He had arm talent though. He did.
People fall in love with arm talent and height and the size of people's hands.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
And they forget the most. I'm agreeing with you on Phillip Rivers, and they forget about the two most important things: production and wins. And Justin Herbert looks the part, but so did Ryan Leaf. I'm not comparing the two. I'm not comparing the two.
Oh my God.
Who's significantly better than Ryan Leaf. But my
Yeah,
point is,
Ironic, they both went to Oregon too.
I'm just saying, don't fall in love with those things because yes, they look good on paper, they look good at the combine, but Justin Herbert has all the talent in the world. He still has to show me he can put a winning product on the field.
But so my question is this. So if Justin Herbert's agent came up to you and you're a general manager and says, yeah, we want the Kyler Murray contract or we're out, how are you responding?
Deuces.
Justin Herbert.
No,
I'm not a fan of Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a stat quarterback and not a winning quarterback.
You was high on him before the season started.
I was never high on Justin Herbert. No, again, I'm not knocking Justin Herbert is going to be this generation's Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
He's going to put up a lot of yards. He's going to have really good stats. He's just not going to get a lot of wins.
I still think it's too early to come to that.
It might be, but that's my prediction.
You
I could be
let
wrong.
somebody
I could be
like
right.
Herbert go though.
I'm gonna be honest. I agree with Fluent to the extent of I understand as talented as Justin Herbert is, and honestly, I would give him the 230. The only reason I'm not giving that 230 to Tua Fluent is not about his inability to win games. I feel like if I have to spend an extra $10 million on the left tackle to keep him upright, I think I have to put that $10 million there.
You're gonna have to do the same thing with Justin Herbert, though.
No, you don't. It's not.
Yeah,
the
you
same.
do.
Yeah, you will. Listen, hold on. You're gonna have to do that with You're gonna have to do that with everybody. Because think about it. Every quarterback. We've already gone down this path before, and I proved you all wrong, and I was right. The second you pay a quarterback top 5 money, you don't win a Super Bowl. You don't. So if you want to handcuff your team, okay, but I think
that's why I'm saying
Matthew Stafford. Someone in the comments said, "Well, Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl." Yeah, when he went to a stacked team. So yes, Justin Herbert, if he goes to a stacked team when he's not a top 5 paid quarterback, sure, gotta be careful.
So out of since the year of 2015, right? How many Super Bowls has Brady won? Like what, 3 or 4 or something like that? And he wasn't a top 5 paid guy. Do you think that has something to do with at least the recent history of that being the case?
No, you can go back as far as you want.
He's always took the team-friendly deal. Always.
Yeah. Tom Brady, yes, in recent history, but still, Tom Brady went a decade without winning a Super Bowl. There still wasn't a top 5 paid quarterback winning a Super Bowl. And every time a guy did win, a la Russell Wilson, what happened once he got paid?
They weren't as good.
The only person that has a chance here is maybe, and I don't know where Mahomes fits right now in terms of the top 5, but Mahomes might be the one this year that has a chance. But even him, he took his money, and they couldn't afford to pay. They couldn't afford to pay. What's his name? The Badger there. They couldn't afford Tyreek Hill. That's why those guys are gone. Trust me, if they had the money, those guys would still be on the team. So again, it makes it harder to win. So again, they're gonna get their money. Look, let's be clear. The general manager of the Chargers is going to pay Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. It's not going to help them win a Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't disagree with the Matthew Stafford thing about Herbert, because at the end of the day, he's in the same division as Mahomes. I'm never going to be. I don't think in the next 10 years.
And I think that hurts him too. I think that hurts him a lot too, for sure.
You got to do a Mahomes for the next 10 years, bro. I don't see it.
Like here, let me ask you guys: do you ever think Herbert is going to be a better quarterback than Mahomes?
No.
Do you ever think the Chargers as a franchise are going to put him in a position to be in a better situation than the Chiefs are putting Mahomes in?
History doesn't tell.
History doesn't say that. Now, could they change all that? Sure, but history tells us nope.
Mm-hmm. They just gotta get. They gotta get healthy, bro. Like,
well, I mean, how I look at it, I don't know about to y'all. I don't think Mahomes has showed me he's like the end all be all. He's not like no Brady. So in my head, do you think that this guy's good enough to at least get one on him? Like, so that's pretty much all you got to do. Can he be good enough to rival? I don't know what y'all just thinking like Mahomes is or whatever, but he could be beat. You know what I mean? So do you think this guy's good enough to rival him? What, you bullshitting? Because I guarantee you, Lamar got a good chance to beat him this year. He already got beat by Joe Burrow. It don't matter. I picked
the Ravens to win the Super Bowl this year. So
but so if you picking somebody else to win the Super Bowl, so that means that you think Lamar Jackson can rival Patrick Mahomes. That's not ridiculous. So like, stop dick sucking right now. So if you pick it, if you gotta pick, but this is what I'm saying. This is what y'all not looking at. Did Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes or not last year? Did they make it to the Super Bowl? Yes or no?
No. But the thing is,
so they got that's good enough to rival him.
The Bengals beat the
Chiefs. Joe Burrow doesn't play defense.
Regardless, you can win a game with him against Patrick Mahomes, so you got your guy to rival him, and they beat them to get into the playoffs. So again, you got your guy to rival.
Man went to 2 Super Bowls, 2 AFC championship. This man has shown way more production right out the gate than any quarterback we have ever seen at the position.
And at the end,
because some guys went head to head that we should be putting them in the same category. At the end of the day, Tom Brady lost some head to head matchups before too. And
that's perfectly fine. But he spent more time in the Super Bowl than not. But
I personally think in the next 10 years, Lamar may get a Super Bowl on over Mahomes. But when we all say it's all said and done, Mahomes probably will end up with more Super Bowls than I would say Lamar will end up with.
Well, so
everybody got to lose sometimes.
So going back to that thing that Fluent brought up about not being able to win with a quarterback making a lot of money. Like, look at the Bengals last year, right? They had all this leftover cap space and they were able to get to the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't like the most talented team. They just got on a run at a good time. And I think that's what it's more about than having a quarterback that's paid at the top of the game.
I mean, you got to win in your window. I mean, when you have a window to win, you got to take it because, like Fluent said, you only have a certain amount of time before you have to pay out of the wazoo for your quarterback. Everybody's not taking the Brady friendly deal, and as you can see, even Aaron Rodgers at age 55 still wants all the money that the Green Bay Packers can give him.
What's hilarious to me? Look at the vast majority, if not all, of the Super Bowl winning teams. What do they have? They have a quarterback who's either young and on that rookie deal or a team-friendly deal. They've got a strong defense because that's where they spent their money. That's the recipe to win, but no one wants to follow it because, like you guys, they're scared. Well, what if I don't pay this quarterback? Then he'll leave. Okay. Then let him leave, right? Like, I want a quarterback who wants to win. And if that means taking $5 million less, then I need you to take $5 million less because that's the recipe for success.
Well,
do people win on the back end of their contracts though, Fluent?
What's that?
Even if you do get the money, right?
Yeah,
but there are quarterbacks that get the money. They still have one on the backside of their contracts. You may not win the first 2 years because you broke the bank, but they do win on the back end.
Exactly.
As well,
but that's what I'm saying. You got to be smart with it. And to the one about the Bengals, the Bengals had all that money and they should have put themselves in a better position. And on paper, they did. They've got themselves a better offensive line. It just didn't work out on the field.
So you're not worried about if your quarterback leaves, you think you can just find another guy to fill that role? That's my only issue. That's why I feel like these teams have to pay. If the problem is trying to replace.
But J-Rob, do you want to pay? Do you want to pay your quarterback top money and lose, or not pay him top money and lose?
Can you get another Patrick Mahomes if you don't pay him?
Nope. No, you can't. There's exceptions. There's exceptions to the rule. Sure. But that's maybe 5 guys in the NFL. What about the other 27? Like, did Arizona have to pay Kyler Murray?
No, they shouldn't have paid him either.
Right? Like, there's that's what I'm saying. There's exceptions to the rule. There's maybe 5 guys.
Yeah, I'm not paying out the wazoo for Stafford or Kirk Cousins or none of those guys will get 230.
Or Dak Prescott, right?
Oh God, yeah. Oh, they never should have paid him. It was horrible.
Real quick.
Yes.
Real quick.
Hey, come on, hosts.
One last thing before we move on to that. When it comes to paying quarterbacks top dollar, I was telling this to a few Eagles fans. They're going to have a high pick. Would you pay Jalen Hurts or would you just draft a quarterback? Because, like, unlike in the situations that you're talking about with Justin Herbert, to where it's like, yo, if you don't pay him, he's going to leave. If you don't pay Jalen Hurts, you got a top 5 pick. You can draft another quarterback, and then you could sign all those guys around him. You know what I'm saying? That's going to help the team get better.
Well, here's the thing.
But he's gonna opt in, right? He got a 50.
Yeah, here's the thing where it gets tricky now. if you got something good, right, you have to have that conversation. Here's what we can do. Here's why we're going to do it. And then you got to make a hard decision. If he wins a Super Bowl, there's some loyalty there. There's some thank you money. There's those things. But just understand the situation it's going to put you in. Because again, if Jalen Hurts let's say the Dub's going to love this. Let's say the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl this year. And I don't know what Hurts has.
Let's hope they don't.
All right. Yes. Cowboys. Let's say, okay, in 2 years, when it's the last year of his contract, they win it. And now they got to pay him. He's like, hey, I'm a Super Bowl champion. I'm a Super Bowl MVP. I want to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Now they pay him. Something's going to go. And guess what's going to happen the next year? They're not going to be as good. They're not.
So when it comes to the opt-in, I don't think does he have that?
No, that's why I moved it forward. I moved it forward to in his last year of the contract.
Oh, okay. But see, the thing is, like, especially if he wins MVP, he's not going to play under that second round pick contract. He's going to ask for big money after the season because he'll be eligible for an extension.
If they go to the Super Bowl, they might have to try to. He's going to want the Brinks truck.
Yeah,
I want the Brinks truck for sure.
Like if you win a Super Bowl, why don't you pay him? Like,
go ahead, Ben.
I'm saying, like when you win a Super Bowl, why don't you pay the quarterback? You got to pay.
No. I think you pay him, but you pay him to a point where you can still pay other people. And that's what I'm saying is I know that it's hard. It's next to impossible, but you have to look for people that want to win. Right, like Tom Brady can't be the only guy in the world that said, hey, I'm smart enough to know that if I take a team-friendly deal, he still made enough money. If I take a team-friendly deal, they can sign these defensive players. They can bring in a couple weapons for me on offense, and we're going to win because that's the most important thing. I want to win Super Bowls.
Not this
You can't be the only person who thinks that way.
He is.
But
Tom Brady is 40. He's 45 years old, fluent. He was drafted in the 2000s. They had a different thinking capacity. They were competitors. That's all they did was compete.
I think it's a different
true definition of an alpha male. I want to conquer. I want to be the final one standing. Kids today don't think like that. They want to look nice. They want to post TikTok videos. They want to see.
Well, then you're going to have a bunch of Matthew Staffords and no Tom Brady.
Who would want to do that?
Who can get 99 on Madden first? Like that's all they care about. So it don't really matter about the end result as long as I can throw no look passes and get them.
You're probably right. All right, you're probably right. You're probably right.
At the end, and it's a few kids that like me and go get my jersey because of the no look passes. That's what they cool with because that leads to capital, baby. The wins don't necessarily lead to that money.
And that's the thing. If he does win a Super Bowl, which hopefully he doesn't, and he does win the MVP, no way in hell he's going to take anything less than like Deshaun Watson's contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't going to lie to y'all. I got to say one other point. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Let's be real too, Bama. I understand what you're saying about all this, like people are, into all this new age shit, but also there's money to be made. Like there's guys who's growing up in different type of conditions, man. Like if they have an opportunity to change the entire demographic and dynamic of the trajectory where their families' lives are going, they're going to do that. And I'm never going to blame somebody for that because at the end of the day, as much as I love football, if I had a chance to make $230 million after I've won a Super Bowl and an MVP, or take a team-friendly deal and get only $100 million so other guys can get paid, I'm sorry, that 230 is not changing just my life, my family's life. It's changing about 5 other generations' lives after, and I can't leave that money sitting on the table. That's
well, all I'm saying.
You say that. Wait. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? You say this generational wealth, and I've heard you say this before, and yet, 73% of NFL players after 3 years of being retired are broke.
I feel you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, J-Rock. I feel you. That is the politically correct thing to say. Oh, they changed the generation. But look, check me out. Just hear me out, though. Hear me out. Because like I said, bro, you know who you asking from this money from. Listen here. Like I tell this people, Massa won't invest $1 in you unless you're worth $3. All right, so
No.
we finna no. Listen,
Here we go.
so we talking about because look, you talking about taking the money. So this is what you saying, bro. All money ain't good money. So when you take all of this money, bro, regardless of whatever you saying, bro, oh he need this, bro. You playing a game of football, bro. So if you taking $300 million, you finna take on the whole offense, my guy. You the whole offense now. We gotta pay.
Yeah,
you can't pay nobody. You the whole offense. And then on top of this, hear me out. If you so broke, I'm talking about candles, nigga. I'm talking about candles where you gotta light up and see through the hallway. Real broke now, below the poverty line. I'm from the South. Minimum wage still $7.25 down there. All right, bro. I'm just keeping it real. Where I come from, Collegeville, Birmingham, Alabama, my nigga, 50 million enough. That's a lot of money. I could make generational wealth off that, especially if you know about the Roth IRAs and setting up trust funds and shit. Because you could talk to people like Grant Cardone and he'll show you how to turn that 50 into a billion.
10x, 10x, baby. 10x.
Talk to him, Fluent. Talk to him. I'm just a dumb internet personality. I ain't finna take out too deep into that world, but I'm just saying we could sit here and be like, oh man, it's so much money on the table in the NFL. That's not the only way you can get generational wealth is the NFL.
That's cool.
It's a lot of black dudes that don't play in the NFL. It's a lot of black dudes that don't play in the NFL that's killing NFL players' money. Storing Leroy, you better look them up.
I'm not saying
killing them. Never touch the ball. Work that Verizon.
I hear you, but at the end of the day, Fluent.
I just like that's a scapegoat.
Of NFL players are broke. First of all, 73% of them didn't make. Honestly, probably didn't have fucking financial advisors. Probably had no type of financial literacy.
Oh, I agree. They don't. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's I got the money. I'm gonna spend the money, not realizing.
Yeah, there's a lot of just lack of knowledge and ignorance that happened with that whole with it ain't got nothing to do with nobody but my whole point is at the end of the day, 50 million is 50 million for sure. But at the same time, if somebody got 250, you're not going to be like, oh, I'll just take the 50. So
if I got to risk my health and my career, if I got to risk my health and my career for my 250, and based off the NFL being an incentive driven sport, it's not like the NFL, it's not like the NBA and the MLB where your contract is a straight guarantee off the bat. It's based off incentives, and if you talk to them players, it's a bunch of incentives you can't even fucking meet. So you don't even get that full whatever your deal is. So based off even that,
and let me add the last, and let me add the piece, and then we can move on, Bama. Let me add the last piece. Do you think you get more or less endorsements when you're winning?
More.
And what pays you 10 times more than your salary? Endorsements. So why the hell wouldn't you I'll take $10 million less to make $100 million more? That's basic math. People are stepping over dollars to pick up dimes, and that's dumb. That's what I said about that. From a finance piece, right? Like Michael Jordan, people are like, he made $30 million. Yeah, but he made $300 million in endorsements. Endorsements, and that comes from winning. A guy who's winning is going to get more opportunities. Now, you still have to be personable and all this other stuff. But if I'm a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and I know that my team needs X on defense, for me, and listen, maybe I'm old school. For me, I know that as the starting quarterback with my nice smile, I know that I can make up that money tenfold in endorsements. So I'm going to take the hit on the salary personally. I know Jerry Jones can hook me up if I said to him, yo, I'm going to take this, but you need to introduce me to the owner of X and the owner of Y. That, guys, we know that's what happens. We got to be smart. We're thinking small. We're like, oh, I can only make my money.
No, they're thinking about. You don't think I want to get paid too? I gotta catch your bullshit passes. You don't think I want to get paid too?
But the other problem is it's also ego too, because you got to look at it like this.
Yeah, and that's the downside. You're right.
If this guy is getting $200 million for like Christian Kirk got $17 million, $18 million a year. How could Deebo Samuel ask for anything less than that and be team friendly just because the value at the position changed? And so that's ego. That's more like my pride as a competitor. Like, there's no way.
The GOAT never cared that he wasn't the top paid QB.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
Them as position players, they contracts is way much lower. The only person that really kills the team is the quarterback's contract. Great point, Bama. Let me say this: if you're a running back, wide receiver, a tight end, an offensive lineman, a D lineman, a DB,
Get that
Take
money.
that fucking 30 million.
Get that money because they've never
damn
broken.
fool
Get
not
that
to.
money. Yeah. Get that money.
Christian McCaffrey, every time sign that $100 million, bro.
Get that money.
And it's funny that you talk about being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't matter if you're winning or not. If you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you're getting endorsements regardless.
Exactly.
And that's how Doc looked at it. And no, I agreed with you. Look, I hate being that guy. Like, take less money because it's not my money. I hate saying that, but I did agree with I did see the point where some people, like in the Cowboys fan base, for example, were saying like, if Doc takes less money, he'll make that back in endorsements. And Texas doesn't even have a state tax either.
Mm-hmm. You get it all full. You get it all in full.
And man, let's be honest, man. Them owners got other like markets they own and stuff. Where them dudes to get that money back, bro, up under the table and shit, bro. Like, I don't know why we just sit here and acting like, bro, they just finna be, they finna go from getting $230 million to $15.75 an hour. Like, no, like what the fuck? Like, are y'all serious right now?
The
Like,
problem is too, though, is every time a new quarterback ups the ante on the money, it's like the going rate changes. That's the other issue. Like once Deshaun got $230 million fully guaranteed, how could any of us expect Lamar not to want the bag? Especially under the circumstances, the very bizarre circumstances of his situation, to be rewarded with that amount of money.
Well, and not to get too far from it though.
I understand why Kyler Murray, I wouldn't have paid him that money, but I can understand why Kyler Murray's like, I'm owed that. Because at the end of the day, that situation is crazy, and they're giving him $230 fully guaranteed dollars.
Since we got the Cowboy fan on here, not to get too deep into it, but we're gonna talk about the NFC East. Washington Redskins Washington Commanders. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
We're canceled.
Oh my god.
YouTube's about to take this stream down.
It's a good thing we're streaming on Twitter. They let you say anything.
The Washington Commanders.
Let's see. Is Clout ready to come in? Clout, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Can you turn your phone sideways?
Sure.
Take the lock screen off. There it is. All right. Now the full cast is here. All right. Take it away, Bama.
All right, cool. Not to get too far off subject, but since we got the Cowboy fan here, I feel like it's only fitting. Monday night, the Commanders took down the Philadelphia Eagles, handing them their first L. They pulled out their Metro cards and put them on the L train. How do you feel about that division now that they ain't got a loss? That division actually looking pretty solid too. You got the Giants, Cowboys, still right there with a couple losses. How you feel about that division? And do you think, since you're the Cowboys fan, how do you feel about your chances to come up? I know y'all just took that L to y'all father,
Aaron Rodgers.
He's scared of the Niners, and y'all scared of him. Oh man, that is insane.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The Cowboys is afraid of Aaron Rodgers. That's the boogeyman.
That's the boogeyman.
Brady's the real boogeyman.
They don't have to worry about him.
Brady's the real boogeyman. What I'll say about the Cowboys is this: coming out of that game, the one thing that really scares me is that the defense that everybody called elite, myself included, I drank the Kool-Aid, is now starting to be exposed. They have the blueprint on how to, do work against that defense. You run the ball and you throw to the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is an absolute stud. He's one of the best corners in football, no doubt about it. One thing that, and I'm getting a slight bit off topic here. People say that Micah Parsons is the best player on that Cowboys defense, and I agree. Trayvon Diggs isn't far behind him now. Trayvon Diggs is like he's having a year. But another thing that I'm afraid of with the Cowboys, and I think which will ultimately be their demise, is Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is a bad offensive coordinator, and I'm not afraid to say that he's a bad offensive coordinator because here's the reason why. When the strength of your team is running the football and you throw the football 45 times
46.
in Lambeau in 30-degree weather.
46.
Not 46. Not only did they throw the ball 46 times, they threw the ball more when they had a 14-point lead that Aaron Rodgers did all game. They threw the ball 22 times when they were up by 14 points. And the Packers threw the ball 20 times the entire game. Kellen Moore is the reason why they ultimately won't reach their goals. They might win a playoff game or two. That's great. Kellen Moore is a big problem on that team because here's the thing. The thing that frustrates me so much about Kellen Moore is he has so much potential. When you see some of his run designs, I mean, they're fantastic. Like they're beautiful. But the problem is he has an inability to commit to the run. What did Devin White say after that Tampa Bay game? Look, we knew they weren't going to commit to the run. So we just played the style of defense that we were playing. And that's the problem with the Cowboys is Kellen Moore. Like people want to throw Dak Prescott under the rug. But what I'll say is this. I think that the Cowboys are winning right now in spite of their coaches. Outside of
we're gonna go back a couple of weeks. We're gonna go back a couple of weeks when Cooper Rush was the quarterback, and I don't remember who said it. Me, and you're gonna like this, Cowboys beat because I said the exact same thing. I said that if the Cowboys want to win, they'll take that same game plan that they were using for Cooper Rush, which was run the ball, play action, and with Dak under center, they're going to be virtually unstoppable. But instead, I said, but they won't. I said Kellen Moore is going to fall in love with the pass, and they're going to throw the ball, and then everyone's going to be blaming Dak when it's Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy. Because as the head coach, you got to put your foot down and say, hey, we're winning games by running the ball. Let's run the damn ball. And that's not happening. And I told you it was going to happen. And hey, Dallas.
That's it. And you want to know what? Like Ezekiel Elliott was out that game. So what? I don't care.
Big deal.
One thing that's been killing Dallas pretty much all season, they're getting too much pressure on the interior. Their interior offensive linemen, Biotic and McGovern, that's the weak spot of their offensive line. And right now, Dak's throwing a lot of balls with defenders in his face. And it's a problem right now. Like I don't love how the Cowboys look right now. Not one bit.
Did you just say Dak has a lot of balls in his face? Is that what you said?
No. He's throwing a lot of balls with guys in his face. Oh, I can't. Gee, why'd I double down on that? I doubled down on that. Damn.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna let y'all do my man's Kellen Moore like that. One, that's the most winning quarterback in NCAA football history. So y'all put some respect on Kellen Moore's name, Boise State University. But two, Dak Prescott does not get he's getting no just free hallway passes.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Do I agree with Fluent's point? They went against the game plan, and he was right because obviously, how did they win with Cooper Rush? They played on the run. And ironically, to you guys' point, how did the Packers win? They decided to flip their game plan and stop throwing the football and put the ball in Aaron Jones's hand more and ended up beating y'all. But
then what happened?
The issue is I'm not saying that Kellen Moore is the issue. The issue is you have a $70 million quarterback. So instinctually, you have to put the ball. You have to put the ball in his hand.
That's why Zeke's still playing over Pollard.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you're not paying Dak to hand the ball off. That's why you have Jimmy Garoppolo and guys to get regular mid-range money to do that. You're not paying Dak that type of bread to hand the ball to Tony Pollard and Zach and Ezekiel Elliott the whole time. You're gonna have to put the ball in his hands. He's gonna have to make some throws. And ultimately, let's be real about Dak.
Hold on, whoa. No, I'm not gonna let you get away with that nonsense. You're paying him to win. You're paying him to win.
Yes, 100%. You're paying him to win. 100%.
Hold on, you're paying him to win. No, Aaron Rodgers. Wait, who makes? Hold on, they're not paying Aaron Rodgers. Wait. They're not paying Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They're not paying Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Why are they running the ball? Because that wins games.
They ran the ball because they tried to run it for 6 weeks and it didn't work. It didn't work. So it
doesn't matter. Look, I get what you're saying. We paid the quarterback, so he needs to throw the ball. But no, you need to win games.
You do have to win games. you do have to win games, and maybe I should clarify that point. You do have to win games, but ultimately, Dak Prescott's not going into the film room with Kellen Moore talking about we need to run the football more. He wants the rock in his hands. Like, this is what he wanted. So
then you know what? Then, like I said, keep letting him throw.
I don't disagree with that.
Keep letting him throw the ball 50 times and lose. Fine.
And they're
Okay.
going to lose, though. Yeah, no, they are going to lose, and that's what they're going to hang their hat on. I do think they should rely more on the run, but you're paying Dak this money, so that's what's going to happen. These are the results of that. This is what monsters create. It's happening with Derek Carr. They keep putting the ball in his damn hand when they got a workhorse in the backfield. And what is that shit looking like?
Well, and that's the thing, right? And that's the thing, right? Like, my thing is this. I don't care what I pay my quarterback. If I pay my quarterback $100 million a year and he throws 3 passes a game, but we win 3 Super Bowls in a row, I don't give a damn what I'm paying my quarterback. He's winning games.
You would never pay a quarterback $300 million.
No, obviously, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking.
But that's so unrealistic because that'll never happen. The reason why these guys get that money is because of what they do with their arm. Like,
I feel you.
We all saw him in those preseason games, and it was like on the
it's not about winning.
And then boom,
it's just about it's about the ability. Like, so the player who makes the most money is not necessarily the best quarterback. He's just the most talented. That's based off what you're saying.
Or he's next up.
Is that why Justin Herbert is going to get paid? Is that why?
Because what I'm trying to tell you though, what I'm trying to explain to people though is, when this football game was created, like, you can't dictate the game, bro. Like, you got to let the game come to you. That's why Brady is so phenomenal. He does not go out there and just try to dictate the game, bro, and force his game upon everybody. He lets the game come to him. If that means if my quarterback only has to throw the ball 20 times, 19 times to win a game, so fucking be it. Because it might be a time down the season where he has to throw it 50 to win a game. But you pay quarterbacks all of that. Well, at least me, myself personally, would pay quarterbacks. So if it's down to a defining moment to where, hey, man, we need 4th and 2 or something like that, yes, I'm going to put it in my $70 million quarterback's hands. Not necessarily meaning every game I'm just finna go out there and throw it 55 times because he's making $75 million. That makes no sense. That means you going out there hell bent, set up on one different way, and you're not fully following the game plan.
What happened to the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson?
So they got away from what they really were.
They ran the ball. They ran the ball really well. They was a great running football team. And then what happened? He got paid all that money. And then they started playing in the shotgun, throwing the ball way more, and that shit did not look the same. And now he's off in Denver, and it is probably not going to get any better over there. I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying about they should fucking run the football. I agree with that. They need to focus on running the football. But when you guys give these type of quarterbacks the money, and with these expectations, the playbook is going to more be catered to throwing the football. That's just...
I'm not saying just run the football. I'm just saying go out there and play football. Just go out and play football.
I don't disagree with what they should do. I'm just saying that's what that money usually brings when it terms like play call and shit like that. They keep the ball in the quarterback's hand the whole time because you're paying all your hopes and dreams have been paid into this guy.
And then not only that, right? The way their offensive line set up right now, they're set up to run block. They're not like a good pass blocking offensive line. They're just not like that. The rookie that they have, Smith, fantastic in run blocking and pass protection. He's suspect. Yeah, like there's multiple guys like McGovern, another guy, suspect in pass protection. He can run block, and they have tight ends who can run block as well. But the problem is when they're throwing the football, that's when the offensive line starts to struggle. I don't understand it. You know, you don't have receivers on the outside. Like CeeDee Lamb's a really good receiver. Outside of that, Michael Gallup's still trying to find his footing. Noah Brown is your number 3 receiver, and let's be honest, he's not that. Dalton Schultz, nice tight end. It's so weird to me because their personnel screams run the fucking football, and they're just not doing it. Like, they don't have the personnel to throw the football around the yard. It makes no sense to me. But that's
when
statistically Dak has been better when they run the football well on paper.
100%
better when they run the football well.
Every quarterback is better when they run the football. Every quarterback.
True.
Every single quarterback. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. Every quarterback is better
That's very true.
when they run the ball. Every single one.
That's very true. But some do benefit off of it more than others, and that's a fact because other teams don't even have run games and they still find ways to win.
Let me ask you guys a question quickly. When you look at quarterback salaries, what number do you use? Do you use their cap hit, their total cash, or their base salary?
I do what they make a year. So if you're making $50 million a year, 30
but there's 3 levels. There's their total cash, because that includes bonuses, or do you use their base salary, or do you use their cap hit?
Oh, base. What they
use their base?
What they just getting. Like what are we paying you just to eat, sleep, and shit with?
Do you want to know? Do you guys know who the top 5? This is just proves your theory kind of wrong, because if they're paying them the most money, base salary, then they should be throwing the ball the most. You know who the top 5 base salaries in the NFL are?
Who?
Number 1, Ryan Tannehill. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Carson Wentz. Number 4, Sam freaking Darnold. And number 5, Derek Carr.
Come on, those are all bad contracts.
So I'll go to cap hit. I'll go to cap hit because that includes.
Don't do me like that.
I'll go to cap. I'll go to cap hit. I'll go to cap hit. Ryan Tannehill still number 1.
Jesus Christ.
Patrick Mahomes. All right, he's making his money. Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers. Those guys don't throw the ball more than Dak Prescott. Not one of them. Not even Patrick Mahomes, I think, throws the ball more than Dak Prescott.
What about golf?
So I have a quick question. Who in here said that Jameis Winston was better than Dak? Who said that?
I said he could be.
Oh Lord!
I said he had the potential to be.
Now Bama. Don't come up here and plead.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison between the two. Zero.
Really? Because again, the problem is we only saw it for a brief moment. Jameis Winston under Sean Payton is better than Dak Prescott. Has a better chance of winning games than Dak Prescott with Kellen Moore.
Well, I think that's more of a Kellen problem than a Dak problem now.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. My issue with the Cowboys is that they make Dak throw the ball so much. That's actually my issue with Dak, is that they don't try to run the ball, and they have 2 really good running backs. Even though people are saying Zeke's kind of past his prime, which he is, they still have 2 really good running backs.
Well, and then not only that, they had this kid Malik Davis, 34. He had some really nice runs the other day. That's another guy who can play. Ezekiel Elliott is so important to that offense. Like people really, Cowboys fans really underappreciate Ezekiel Elliott. It's not just about the explosive plays anymore. When you look at powered and pass protection, he can't block to save his life. Like that's important. Like a running back that can pass protect is important. And then not only that, Zeke can get those tough yards that Tony Pollard just can't. Like he's important. So like when I look at the Cowboys offense, they should be splitting carries, 15-15 or maybe 17-13 is the most I would really differentiate it. But I mean, overall, they're 2 really good running backs, and both of them, the luxury that they have with having both those guys on the roster is Tony Pollard's weakness is Zeke's strength, and Zeke's strengths are Zeke's weaknesses are Tony Pollard's strengths.
Yeah, so they're perfect complementary backs. I agree, and I'm going to give you one more thing of numbers, and then I'll stop. I promise.
Yeah, so we can get to our next subject.
I know total cash. Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott 16th. Dak Prescott 16th. He doesn't need to be throwing the ball that much.
No, he don't.
Not even for the money.
So where would you guys rank like Dak?
Attempts? That's where he should be.
No, I don't disagree with you, Fluent. I always knew in my heart the moment Jerry Jones gave that man that bread that he was looking for. You're going to create a monster because you're going to give him more responsibilities. His expectations are going to change, and you're going to get away from some of the things that were successful with him. And that's what they like. I don't know why they don't stay relying on the running game. And honestly, if I was a quarterback and I had a good running game I could rely on, It's actually bailing me out of a lot of shit. Makes me work way less harder, way less.
Listen, I'm not Dallas. You're gonna love this one, or Cowboys fan. If they use the game plan, because they have a good offensive line too, but we haven't talked about offensive line. Offensive line is just as important, actually more important than a running game, but different conversation. If they use the similar game plan as they did with Cooper Rush, because Dak can make those throws that Cooper Rush cannot, I'm telling you, this would be probably one of the best, if not the best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree.
They just don't do it.
All right. Next topic, since we love quarterback so much, I don't know if y'all been looking at that the Chicago Bears Adrian Peterson, because y'all had an Adrian Peterson up there too. A guy by the name, hey, kids, I'm dead ass. If y'all ever get a chance, type in the real Adrian Peterson highlights. Played running back for Georgia Southern, got drafted by the Bears. That is the most fucking insane highlight tape you'll ever see. But they got a dude just like that up in Chicago playing the quarterback position. Justin Fields. I don't know if y'all been sleeping up on the rock or whatever the case may be lately, but that dude has been on a tear. Has the Bears found their franchise quarterbacks? And would you pay Justin Fields $230 million? Sports_fluent. Oh, Anthony K, known as Sports Fluent.
That's not fair to ask that question right now.
Why not? Why not? That he fluent from those past few games, Fluent. And this is Dubs, Doc. So leave me alone. I'm just making it a little animated. But listen, Fluent. Keep it real though. That's the best quarterback y'all had since Doug Flutie. That's nasty. That's nasty even saying that.
Actually, shout out to Doug Flutie. I actually got a
shout out to Doug Flutie. That's my
Doug Flutie. Sadly, Doug Flutie actually never had a chance in Chicago because Mike Ditka didn't like him because he didn't like short people. Mike Ditka's got a problem. I would say Sid Luckman, and probably Jay Cutler were better, but yes, he is the best quarterback we've had. I love what the offense is finally starting to do, right, with the RPOs and letting him get out of the pocket and run and do what he does best. I think that's 2 weeks in a row with a 60+ yard touchdown run for Justin Fields, my fantasy quarterback. But and we've seen other things happen, right? Cole Kmet is now becoming an actual threat on the offense. The Bears are starting to put up some numbers. But no, today, I'm not giving Justin Fields that $230 million because he still needs a number one wide receiver. They still need to upgrade their offensive line. Their defense is really, really young and getting better, but there's so many holes
would you make him number 16 like Dak Prescott? Would you make him the number 16 cap hit in the NFL?
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. Is this in the 120 years that the Bears have been in existence? We've never had a quarterback. We never had a dynamic quarterback. We never had a good quarterback. We've never had a quarterback. So that's why I say there's always exceptions to the rule. You got a kid who can play, and he can play today's style, which is, and I've told you this before, look at all the teams that have winning records. All the teams that have winning records have a mobile quarterback, someone who can do something outside of the pocket. So yeah, I'm paying him just because we've never had one. So why not?
Well, and so
because just to finish. So they've never drafted a good quarterback. They've never had they've never had good luck with a quarterback. So they have to make the exception and pay him and keep him, because for them, historically, if they lose him, it might be another 100 years before they get another one. But a team that has had good quarterbacks, they can make a tougher call.
So what I'll say about the Bears is, if I'm the Bears, I'm investing all that draft capital that they have in that offensive line. The one thing now coming up in this draft is the offensive line position isn't as deep as it usually is in these drafts.
My fault.
Yeah, no, it's typical. The 1 year the Bears have some opportunity, there's no one to pick up.
And this is what I'll say, right? Like, if you can have a good offensive line, like, granted, right now Chicago doesn't have, like, they have some nice receivers. I really like Darnell Mooney. Chase Claypool is like, he is what he is. But if you have a good offensive line, this is what I'll say, that elevates your receivers, because if your quarterback has more time to throw, your receivers have more time to get open. If I'm being honest with you, I would rather give me a good offensive line over a good receiver core. Like, give me a really, really good offensive line over a really, really good receiving core.
Yeah, because that last play that lost in the game, that shouldn't have happened. That was gross. That offensive line ought to be ashamed of themselves. That was you didn't look like a professional right there. Like, y'all didn't look like a bunch of professionals, bro. Y'all was just dog shit, bro. And I don't know, bro. I pay attention to everything. How them boys look at Justin Fields like in the huddle, they kind of look at him as like, oh, this little kid, bro. Like, fuck he know. Like, nah, that's your fucking quarterback. Like, he your commander in chief, bro. Like, y'all need to sit back there and protect him. Like, he is your fucking Tom Brady. So y'all need to treat him as such. And I just felt like, I don't know, brother. I felt like that last play, that shit kind of rubbed me the wrong way, especially because he made one dude miss twice. And it's just like you just see them. Looking,
first of all, that game started off bad. All the penalties,
offensive lineman. Ooh, they made me
part of that comes from the coaching staff, though. They didn't have the faith, kind of like your boy Tua with his former head coach. They didn't have the faith in him. These same head coaches early on in the season, and so some of that the players look and say, well, if the coaches don't believe in him, why should we?
I'm not gonna believe in you. Yeah.
Why should I? If the coaches don't believe in you, why should I? So he's proven them wrong. So good for him. Good for him. I'm happy for him.
Anybody else want to touch on this?
If the Bears don't, you got it.
No, go. You haven't said anything. Go.
If the Bears don't get Justin Fields some help right now, I can see it now. The media is gonna do him exactly how they're trying to do Lamar right now. Side note: Lamar needs to get paid, but he's a running quarterback who has a really good tight end, no receiving help, no O-line, and an okay defense. So if Justin Fields continues to put up all these rushing numbers, first of all, he doesn't have the opportunity to even show that he can pass because every time he drops back, there's a defensive lineman on top of him. So the arguments that we don't know about his arm talent or his arm talent's not there, we can't see it. There hasn't been 5 plays in a game that has had time to develop a deep shot, nor does he have the talent to throw a deep shot too. So I think that Justin Fields is talented enough to be a franchise quarterback and get that franchise type of money. But there are some things that definitely need to take place in order for the Bears to even make that kind of investment. Because if you make that investment and you have the inability to get help, then you might as well just let him go.
Yeah, you're right, because think about this. We all agree Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
How do you look? How do you look in that Super Bowl when he didn't have any time to throw? He didn't look that good, did he?
Didn't look good.
Didn't look that good.
For his life, he's running for his life.
Well, and so my question is, Fluent, I know you're a Bears fan. Right now, like, I'm looking at the upcoming free agents that play offensive line. Orlando Brown Jr. from the Chiefs. Would you pay him?
How old is he?
He's 26.
Yes.
Then there's Jack Conklin. Like, those are the two, like, probably the best. Isaiah Wynn's another guy.
I'll say this.
I'll do it.
I will say this.
I'll pay one of them.
I would focus my attention on fit. So what kind of offensive line fit the scheme that we're going to run? So obviously they have guards pulling and those types of things. So I want someone who's put more over the names. And I'm not saying don't go for the big names. I'm saying what the offensive line, like the Bengals, I think, for example, paid for a bunch of names. They didn't get a cohesive unit, and I know they've had some injuries, but that I think is important too. Do they fit our scheme? Will they fit together with each other? Right. And and yes, to answer your question, if all of those, they check all those boxes, then yes, I'll pay for offensive line. Absolutely.
Yeah, I could have told the Bengals that La'el Collins was over the hill. I could have told him that. I was so happy we got rid of that guy.
I'm rocking with Justin Fields, and I think you got a guy.
Yeah.
Man.
I like him too, but he needs, I can't say Lamar Jackson doesn't need weapons and then not say he needs weapons. He needs weapons.
He needs a lot of help. He needs so much. They're like a good investment on a house that has good.
Man, I just feel like
they
really are O-line away.
If they trying to bake, really, because I feel like if they trying to bake a cake, they got the bowl.
They got the batter and some eggs.
They got the ball. No, they got the ball.
Again, bro, Darnell Mooney not bad, and he breaks over a lot. I like Darnell Mooney a lot, bro.
Darnell Mooney is,
but he's not. He can't get him the ball.
And that right. I'm just saying, like that's why I say they. If we just had to pick one,
I like Khalil Herbert.
O-line, Khalil Herbert.
Yeah. If you have to prioritize, O-line first. Yeah.
I like y'all tight end too.
I mean, O-line, y'all in the playoffs. I feel like O-line, y'all can make the playoffs.
Nah, that's a fact. But I think the biggest thing Justin Herbert has also shown you as a quarterback is that he makes up, like, his ability to play make is what is made up for so many deficiencies that offense has had, because he can do something with his athleticism that just allows him to be a playmaker, you know.
They do need someone on the D-line too, because when they lost Akeem Hicks, they went from one of the best run-stopping defenses in the league to the worst. Like, I mean the worst.
What I'll say about Justin Fields. Oh, sorry about that, Flo.
No, go ahead.
What I'll say about Justin Fields, like coming out of Ohio State, like he did have an arm in college. Like I still believe that he can develop into a good passer in the NFL. And he's maybe the most, outside of Lamar Jackson, maybe the most dynamic quarterback. Like if he can develop as a passer, I think you got one there. I really do. I like Justin Fields. I like him a lot.
I think it's hard to evaluate him as a passer now because of his situation. I even say the same thing about Daniel Jones. I think it's hard to really evaluate. You don't agree with that? I think it's hard to evaluate Daniel Jones. I know he's had some really bad games and it hasn't always looked great, but he's not had a good O-line in the past. He's damn sure has not had really much weapons out on the outside and the perimeter. I mean, that Galladay contract looks like one of the worst.
Terrible.
And he's had horrible coaching.
Worst business decisions of the last 10 years. So ultimately, I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is him or one of these a good quarterback, but I do say in terms of like evaluating him as a guy, how can you evaluate him? I think it's the same thing with Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields has mad arm talent. You guys saw him against Clemson. We saw the arm talent on display. But it is hard to evaluate him because of, like, like Klaus says, you got a guy on top of you every play. You're not going to be able to really evaluate somebody well as a passer.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough with the Daniel Jones talk. What we will talk about is some good offensive players. Offensive Player of the Year candidates. Who y'all got? Talk to me why. Ben, you ain't said shit. So we'll start off with you, my brother. Offensive Player of the Year candidate. Why? Talk to me, please. You got the floor.
Offensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna go Tyreek. I'm gonna go Tyreek for Offensive Player of the Year because how he's been doing with Miami and all that, the impact he's putting in with the Dolphins, helping Tua out and stuff. So my Offensive Player of the Year right now is on Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
I'm gonna go Jettas.
I was also gonna say Jettas.
That catch the other day. That might I'll forget.
No, but even
Tyreek Hill was one, but Jettas on that.
Yeah, Jettas. Yeah.
I hope Jettas has his worst game of his career on Sunday. To be honest with you.
Who they got? The Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Listen, Jettas. Even aside from the catch, that whole drive, I'm pretty sure he caught the ball every play but one. When it comes to a late game situation, or even just sometimes entire drives, he gets the ball every play. And it's not like they don't have weapons. And he's still getting force fed.
He a dog, man.
I think Saquon got a good case too, though. Like I could either see it going to Saquon Barkley too. He's gonna bug.
I was gonna say Saquon and Nick Chubb. I'm going running backs. Sorry, kids.
You're biased. You
fucking right. I'm biased.
You're a running back, so
yep.
Of course you're gonna take the backs.
Saquon and Nicky Chubb. You gotta go with them boys. They old school, man. The running game not dead. These offensive coordinators just scared, man. That's it.
Yeah. They're taking the running backs out of the game because they're trying to pay one less person. But I'm gonna go I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill, and I'm not gonna take it even a step further because I damn well told you guys the NFL has never had a wide receiver as MVP, and they've had a damn place kicker as MVP. This is the year we're gonna get a wide receiver, an MVP, and he's gonna be your offensive player of the year, Tyreek Hill.
I can see it. That 2000 is going. That 2000 is crazy. He gets to 2000. I know he'll have one more. He will have had one more game to get there because they play an extra game. But in the record books, it's going to say 2,000 yards, and that's going to look crazy.
All I'm saying, if he get to 2,000, y'all gonna hate me. Tua's better than Patrick Mahomes.
I promise you will never be able to get that off over that 2,000.
So, question.
You're bugging.
Talking about MVP, right? Do you think that a defensive player can win MVP in the near future?
No.
Michael Parsons, he's going to win one day. No. Michael Parsons is going to be the first defensive player in a long time to win the MVP.
No, he's not. They're never giving a defensive player MVP again. It's never.
I've already said this. He's Patrick Mahomes on defense.
That's fine. He can be Patrick Mahomes on defense, but as long as Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen walk the earth, a defensive player is not winning MVP. I'm so sorry. I really like Micah Parsons. He's an animal. He's probably going to be the best defensive player in the league for a little while. It doesn't matter. You could have 20
Who was the last defensive player to win MVP?
Lawrence Taylor.
Oh my God! Yeah, no.
So he might be Patrick Mahomes on defense, but he ain't no Lawrence Taylor.
He's not that.
Nah, LT is the GOAT though. That's a GOAT. That's top 3 ever to play.
And that's why
LT was obsessed. In that same year, didn't he have like a 98-yard interception return or some shit like that? He was really going bonkers.
Compare any defensive player to LT, that means you think they're going to be the best defensive player ever.
And let me tell you something. I don't think he's that. He's really good, but he's not that.
Could he get to Aaron Donald?
I think that he's more versatile than Aaron Donald could be because of what he can do in the pass game. But yeah, I mean, in that case, yeah, you could probably make the argument that he could get there.
So
put him in, go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
No, J-Rob, you can go.
No, I was just gonna say that I think I would never put Michael Parsons. I would put him on the line and let him rush all game. Fuck it.
Well, yeah, that's what I would.
What I'll say about Micah Parsons is this: like when it comes to winning like the MVP in his future, I think if there's going to be a defensive player to do it, I'm not saying he's going to do it. If there's going to be a defensive player, it's going to be Micah Parsons. Like when you look at what the guys around Micah Parsons are doing because he's getting so much attention, you look at a guy like Dorrance Armstrong, right? Dorrance Armstrong has like 5 sacks so far this season. He had 5 sacks all of last year. You know, like DeMarcus Lawrence, he was obviously a good player, but I mean, he's got 5 sacks as well this year. This kid, Sam Williams, that they have, Dante Fowler, like all these guys are elevating their play because Micah Parsons is elevating their play. Like when you look at Dallas's defense, like they're a good defense, like they're a slightly above average defense without Micah Parsons. When you add Micah Parsons, he elevates that to a really good defense. I can't call it elite right now, not after what I saw on Sunday and not after what I saw against the Chicago Bears a few weeks ago. But Micah Parsons is like, if he's going to, I know I might sound biased for saying this, but like if there's going to be a guy who wins MVP on defense, I think it's going to be Micah.
It's not, guys. It's not happening. And here's the reasons why it's not happening. One, in the history of the NFL, 1971, Alan Page, 1986, Lawrence Taylor. And that's the list. Okay. 2, the team, the game is built around offense. They always give it to an offensive player. They always, that's their focus. That's what they promote. That's what sells tickets. That's what brings in TV revenue. They're not, you would have to do something so extraordinary on defense to win it. And I don't think the game allows that to even happen anymore. You can barely hit people anymore. So you don't even have the opportunity to do something like Lawrence Taylor was taking your head off. Can't do that anymore. So I think there's not even the opportunity to win it. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's how it is.
I don't think that's a bad point now that you think about it. How many LT sacks would have been called roughing the passers in today's game?
Every single one. Every single one would have been flagged.
Because
Every
he was
single one,
lighting
because
them with,
because
Every
you know
one,
you know
every
this. You've
single one,
watched game
right.
film, and I played in those days. It's when you tackle someone, you were taught to put all your body weight on top of them.
Yeah.
That's a penalty now.
that's
So
finishing
every
the
single
tackle.
one would be. That's it. You're done.
Every single
Every single one would be
All
flagged.
22 and a half of them.
Yeah,
Pin 'em.
I agree. Majority of them. Yeah, he'd probably be the most penalized defensive line.
But that's any player again, because that was the game, right? Like
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
Man, what we
Let's-
got?
Start, bench, cut. This is dubs, man. We got Tua, Hurts, and Ben's boy, Herbert.
Herbie fully loaded.
Tua, Hurts, and Herbert.
Herbinsky.
Tua, Hurts, and
Yeah.
Herbert.
What's the order? Go pick an order, Bama. Come on, host.
Well, we'll go.
Start Tua.
Yeah, we'll go. I guess first. So we'll go Clout God, then Cowboys, then Ben, then J. Rob, then Fluent.
All right, so it's Tua, Herbert, Hurts.
Yeah,
Let's
Tua,
go.
Herbert, Hurts.
And this is like right now. If they were to play a game on Sunday,
Whatever you want. Whatever you
Well,
want.
Whatever you
based
want
off the
to
Whatever you
season.
want.
Based off the season.
He don't want to
okay,
be
okay,
nasty.
all right. Well, I gotta start Tua. I gotta bench Hurts, and I have to cut Herbert. I think that Herbert. Man, they're also there's. I think
Give Ben
Herbert
a
has
heart
the most.
attack.
I think Herbert is the most physically gifted. However, Tua and Jalen Hurts are getting the ball to the right people at the right time. I think that the Hurts offers obviously that mobility aspect. So that's where I'm gonna go.
Me, I
So-
better hit him up one more time.
That was
So
yeah.
I'm starting Herbert. And I hate doing this because I'm gonna sound like a hater. I'm starting Herbert. I'm benching Tua, and I'm cutting Jalen Hurts. Because here's the
Yeah,
thing,
you
right?
absolutely sound like a hater.
But here's my thing though, right? Like here's the reason why I look at it like that. When you look at Tua, right? He did beat the Buffalo Bills. Like to me, Jalen Hurts to me has that like trademark win, And not only that, right? When you look at Justin Herbert, if you put Justin Herbert on the Eagles, they're dropping 40 points a game. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Like, here's the thing.
They're also throwing about 6 to 8 more interceptions, but continue.
Credit to Shane Steichen, their offensive coordinator. They're running their scheme is fantastic. They're getting wide receivers open by like a lot, and Jalen Hurts is hitting them. Like credit to him. But I think if you put Justin Herbert in that situation with that much time to throw the football, like you look at some of Jalen Hurts' pockets, they're as clean as they get. If you give Justin Herbert that time, I think it's a wrap. But I would bench Tua. I'd take Tua over Hurts.
Go ahead, man.
Like we don't know who Ben's starting.
Start Herbert.
Start Herbert, bench Herbert, cut everybody else.
Start Justin, bench Herbert. Cut everybody else.
Chat, y'all see what I have to do in this panel, bro? Y'all see what you see what I have to do in this panel, bro? Bro, they disrespecting the crap out of Herbert. They disrespecting, man. I'm doing overall. Start Herbert. I'm benching Hurts, and I'm cutting Tua right now.
Yeah.
Because and what Cowboys said, if this dude Herbert playing with like no receivers right now, 3 D tackles, only 3 D tackles like on the practice squad, all this type stuff, all practice squad, and if you and Bam, I know you're gonna say something about this. It's just an excuse, but I promise you, if y'all had Herbert right now on the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill there, that boy Herbert is breaking records. He's breaking records with Tyreek Hill there, and that's a fact.
So I'm gonna go. So Ben, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Me and you really don't usually agree when it comes to this guy. We really don't. But I'm gonna also start Justin Herbert, and then I'm going to bench Jalen Hurts, and I'm going to cut Tua.
When does the Tua hate stop, bro?
It's not a hate
It's
against
not hate.
Tua. It's not hate. It's not hate. It's not hate.
At this
But I'm
point,
sorry. For me to sit here, look, I've been critical of Justin Herbert probably just as much as any of you on here. Because I do think winning matters. But at the same time, for me not to act like that Chargers team is absolutely decimated, I think that would be irresponsible.
So last year the defense wasn't good. Now this year there's injuries. It sounds like everything could be an excuse for Herbert.
Listen, I said the same thing. I said the same shit last year. But
Tua got his brain scrambled and came back, bro.
Yeah, but he also has a Ferrari and a Lamborghini on outside of him. And
y'all sit here and make up.
Y'all
move the
what
door
was
back.
Tua's record before that?
Hey, bro, look, I don't want
bro,
to go
before the season, no. Time out. Matter of fact,
critical of Justin Herbert as anybody, bro.
I just want Dub to be able to pull this up. I swore to God, bro. A lot of y'all, especially Trent up in there, being nasty as he is. A lot of y'all said Tyreek Hill probably was going to go touch 1,200 receiving yards for the whole fucking year. No, bullshit. We gonna have to pull that up. We're going to pull that up, bro. Bullshit. Because y'all said for the whole year, but y'all said he might get like 12 to maybe 14 max. Y'all was like, max. He already touching 1,200 halfway through the season, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Y'all is being real nasty with Tua right now, bro. And it's just super nasty, bro.
Imagine you trying to say that the fact that we said that
hey, Trent, ain't you pregnant? Ain't you pregnant, young man? Word on the street, you've been pregnant. That's why you ain't dropped no album in a minute. You better chill out, girl. Or I'll put your business out there. Because they say you got knocked up. They say one of them Wall Street niggas knocked you up.
All right. Now we heard all the other answers. We're going to get the right answer, and then we're going to do super chats, right? I believe. Is that correct?
It's just hate. It's just hate.
All right. So here we go. Everybody, did everybody go? Did everybody go? Everybody go? Everybody else go, I mean?
Yeah, we go.
Yeah, okay, here we go. So we starting Tua on your areola. Tua tongue on your areola. We are benching Justin Herbert. We're gonna bench Justin Herbert because he's talented. He's okay. And Jalen Hurts, unfortunately, is going to be cut. That is the only correct answer.
So the dude, okay, bro. Okay, Flo.
I'm sorry.
I would just like to point out that Justin Herbert went 9-8 last year. The Dolphins had Devontae Parker as their wide receiver one. They also went 9-8 last year.
Compare the first two seasons, Wes. Compare the first two seasons, Herbert, and compare what Tua had. Like, you gotta look at situations, bro. Don't make everything a winning.
But all I'm saying is, if you talking about the weapons, and he barely had Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker played like 8 games max throughout the first 2 years. Jalen Waddle was hurt. Jalen Waddle was also hurt towards the back end of that season as well.
Hey, rookie Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker is not better than Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Tua first year he had Jakeem Grant, Devontae Parker on the back end. Preston Williams barely played. Smythe.
Oh my God, Preston
Williams. Even drafted. They even bought what was the dude over there? Will Fuller over there. Never played when he got there. Who else? Bro, they had some bums at receiver. So I'm just saying, bro, you sitting here talking about the lack of receivers and still went 9-8, regardless of the regardless. But
record.
Same thing, still finding a way to win some type of game. So, I mean, yeah, you can sit there and say a lot of the stuff like that, but Tua dealt with the same thing. And he had a horrible O-line, too. They just got these pieces this year. And y'all sitting here acting like Tua had this his whole career. Like, he was in a shit situation the same way and put together.
Tua has been impressive, Bama. I think it's hard. I don't think anybody think Tua has been impressive, but I do think given the same situations, if I could change quarterbacks and plug another guy in.
Listen, if you have to put an if. You can't go with the
We're
if.
doing
You
a
have to
start.
go
We're
with-
doing a start bench cut. I'm just.
So you got it.
I'm picking guys based off
what you
hypotheticals.
saw? You got to go with what you see.
But I'm
And what I
I'm a
saw was
GM,
no.
I'm starting
What I saw this year with no
all y'all
Kenny Allen,
talking
no
about is
Mike
that
Lee.
I like
little
Tua
deep
though.
arm.
I don't even not like Tua though.
Niggas just be hating.
I don't
All
hate
right.
Tua at all.
You guys want a super chat?
Yeah, let's do these
Yeah.
super chats.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go. We don't have that many. We got 2 super chats. This one was first from the Philharmonic. I know Dub not here, but he's the worst Eagles fan I've ever encountered. Will protect Ryan Tannenbaum and not his own QB. I wish he was here, but he not.
What's wrong with Ryan Tannenbaum?
Anybody want to comment on philosophic?
I ain't gonna lie, buddy. I don't really have no problems with what Dub says about the Eagles.
Does Dub protect Ryan Tannenbaum?
I don't know, because I haven't heard Dub be critical of Jalen Hurts, really.
All right. Here we go then. Mick Robinson.
And Rob, what's goody?
Do anyone believe that the NFL will bring back NFL Europe? Germany was showing mad love to both the Bucks and Seahawks. Germany was even singing Country Road. Take me home to the place. I should really know that song. It's our school song.
I mean, they got to do it because they're trying to make the game global, right?
They're expanding even more. They'll probably go more.
So what do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be an NFL Europe that failed already once, or do you think they're going to put a team in Germany and London?
I mean,
I don't think they're getting a
that
team.
London game was packed, bro. Those games were packed.
Oh. Think about them flying, because then they got to play all their games, or at least half, on this side of the globe. That is a flight. The Seahawks went out there. It was like a 16-hour flight.
I mean, you'd probably play all the European teams most of the year. Obviously, you'll fly in with one team throughout the conference. I mean, you'll only be flying. One team in the States will only fly one time to Europe, one game, and there's a bunch of other teams. I think you can make it work. You would have to have multiple teams in Europe, at least like have a real legitimate division so you can play multiple games within that space. And then the other 32 teams got to fly out there, you know, and then they'll play one game where they got to fly to the States and by the end of the year. But the way the league looks, the way those games are starting to look, those fans and those crowds, let's be real, they look like a damn rainbow because these fans in Europe, some of them from the States, they don't really have an allegiance to a team. And they got that NFL program that's going on in London where guys are actually playing in the States from Europe. So the game is expanding. I love that football is expanding the way it is. You know, I think next there'll be games in Japan and other places. Like, this is just the beginning. And I think if they do it again, it'll be a success because we got the internet now. The internet changed everything, bro. Social media, it is changing everything.
And then to bounce off that, J-Rob, like if they're going to do that and they're going to put like a whole division like in Europe, what teams can do is like, so they only have to make that flight one time. They just play back-to-back games, you know, because a team will like when they play another team in another like division.
Yeah.
They'll play like the two games on the road. So just have the teams make one flight.
Never have to leave the continent.
Okay, so let me now. I get it. There's different places, but just for for perspective. Does anyone know what the flight time is from New York to Los Angeles?
About 6.5 hours. About 6 hours.
It's 6 hours. It's 6 hours, depending on wind and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
New York to Frankfurt, Germany.
Like 8.
7:30. It's not that much longer of a flight. Mm-hmm. It's only an extra hour on a private jet. So now I get it. Seattle to Germany. Okay, now maybe Seattle needs to do an East Coast trip, and then fly to Germany, and then bye week. But it's actually not as crazy as you think because the England team, London is a shorter flight. It's actually around the same as flying to California from New York.
Yep.
So would you guys say that they shouldn't play? The Rams shouldn't play the Giants.
Exactly.
The Bills shouldn't play the Chargers. Would you ever say that?
No.
But it's around the same time. on a private flight. I don't know if you've been on private planes. They comfy.
Yeah, I'm poor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you see the Vikings. Did y'all not see Taylor Heineke with a pack of Busch Lights?
Of course I did.
He had a whole 6-pack of Busch Lights. He was living chilling. Those planes are crazy, fellas.
And that's a private plane. No, when I flew to Greece in one of those pods, where you can lay down and got the whole.
Yeah.
You don't really need to So is an extra hour in the air?
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
I think they could do it.
It's not that bad.
I think they could do it if the influence is there and people buying tickets. You can put a team in London. You already have the stadiums.
Yo, and no lie, those games, like those rivalry in division games, will be crazy.
Yeah, they go hard.
Like those crowds will be crazy.
Yeah, they're trying to make it. Listen, they're trying to make it a global game. They realized, right? Like that's where the NBA surpassed the NFL, right? When the Dream Team went over in '92, it became global. The NFL, people don't realize there's pockets in Germany and England, but if you talk about the NFL outside of the US, it's not a big deal. It's really not. Even though they fill up the stands, that is a vast minority of the population of those places. So they need to make it more global because if more people watch it globally, that increases their TV revenues, and now they can pay these damn quarterbacks what they're asking for. So I guess if we did a poll, team in Europe or NFL Europe?
I want a team there. Like I think they should do a team. I think they should have a whole conference, a team in Munich, London, Paris, wherever, and they should have a European, straight up division league, bro.
Division.
A
division.
So
like four teams?
4 teams, yeah, like a full division. Because you got to think, Paris, London, I've been to Europe, so I've seen Paris, London. I've even been to Greece. If you put a team in Germany, let's say Germany, Paris, London, and then maybe another place in England or Great Britain, you can legitimately do a 14 league, and the flights to all of those places within Europe, the distances aren't too long. So I think a division would be awesome. I'll be all.
All right, you want a division? I'm staying away from that chat. Ben, you want a division, a team, or just NFL Europe?
Oh,
I don't think people want to go all the way like the Europe. I think they shouldn't have a team there. They should have like how they did with the Seahawks and Bucks, let them go to
just keep having games there once a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about this, guys? Cowboys. What do you think?
I'd like a division over there, to be honest with you, just because, I see how those crowds get up for those soccer games. Like, if you can get those crowds for football, and they're obviously hungry for it, that'd be crazy.
All right, Clout.
I think it would be fun. I think how they would add the teams in would be a little challenging. I don't know the expansion rules, but I think it would be important that at least one of these teams is decent if they did do that. And they're not gonna be
expansion draft.
Yeah.
You gotta do an expansion draft.
All right, here's my idea. I don't want them to have a team. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that Europe will get a team before Canada. I don't like it. The Toronto North is still going to be a thing. I'm going to make it happen. That being said, what about this idea? The NFL does a European invasion over a span of 3-4 weeks, whatever, where every team, because every team now has 17 games. I know that they're talking about 18, but if every team has 17 games, they get 8 at home, 8 on the road, and they all do 1 game in Europe. So there'll be 16 European games where they do over the course of whether it's 2-3 weeks. European invasion, it's before their bye. So after they go there, they get the bye week to rest from the long travel.
For the long travel, quote.
For the long travel.
Just add a second bye week.
I know that we know that.
Or you just add a second bye week and have
They tried that before. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I'm down for that. I actually think that's a good idea.
I can't tell your screen. I can't tell how old you are. We had a second bye week back in the day, and it wasn't.
Yeah, 25 years young. Or 25
yeah.
years
Okay,
old.
so you don't remember that.
Same age as me. You feel me?
So what do you guys think about European invasion?
That works too.
I ain't mad at
Because
that.
everybody had
Solid.
that one extra game, right? So to make it fair, everybody has one neutral site game.
I also think for a lot of players, like you gotta think some players, all they know in terms of travel is their home and then the college that they played for. So like just the opportunity to have a reason to go to experience Europe in another place at least once every season of your NFL career, that's a pretty good experience. And then you're gonna meet all these new fans. I think it'd be great. I think
And it's good. It's good for the players as well because then they can expand their brand. They can expand their brand overseas.
Absolutely. All right, we got one more super chat, and then I'll send it back to the host who can stop with his beef on the chat. Germany already has
it's no beef. I'm just over here cracking on that little girl on the ministry cycle. They bother me. I just give them what they want.
Already has a huge American Football League. The fan base for the league is real. There's a documentary about it. All right. Well, all right. Thanks, Mick Robinson. Keep us fluent, baby. All right, back to you, Bama.
Well, that concludes the show, kids.
Wait. Can I say one thing?
You say whatever you want.
Of course.
What does that say, fellas?
Can't read it.
50K. 50K.
Congratulations, boys.
50K. All right. Look at that. Just in time.
Congratulations,
Let's go.
boys.
Let's get it.
50,000. Congratulations. Can we get
real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. It was an awesome time talking ball with you guys.
Hey, thanks for coming, man.
Cowboys, I appreciate you for pulling up. Cowboys, we would love to have you on again, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, I was saying
you couldn't hear over the applause.
The Discord. Join the Discord so you can
join the Discord. Don't join the Discord. Do not join the Discord. Do not join the Discord.
Join that Discord.
The Discord is dangerous.
Shout out to you for being here on 50K Day, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Ain't that shit blue?
Is that it? We out? All right, check out Fluent and Chill tomorrow, Thursday at 9.